Imagine this, you are sitting across the board from a man whose eyes don't just see the pieces, they see sacrifices. On move number 12, he gives away his knight. Was it a mistake? No, it was a trap. Then he sacrifices his queen. You check the board again. You don't see the threat. You feel safe, but you are already dead. This is Mikhail Tal, the magician of Riga, and this is the game that proves it. The specialty of this game is the game is itself being played by Mikhail Tal. What another specialty do you need if the game is itself played by Mikhail Tal? So let's look. Here our Mikhail Tal was with white pieces and Alexander Koblents, who was his opponent, was with black pieces. This tournament was held in Russia at URS training in 1965. So here Mikhail Tal started off the game with e4. Koblents responded with c5, the Sicilian defense. Knight f3, e6. This is the Sicilian defense French variation. We have d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, attacking the central pawn. Now knight goes on c3, defends it. We have d6. Now this game has transposed into the Scandinavian variation of Sicilian defense. So bishop goes on e3, knight c6, f4. This is a very bold move because now you can see black has two choices, either to take this knight or to go just passive. Let us see if black plays knight takes d4 after this f4 move. What do we have is bishop takes d4, and the threat is now to push this e5 pawn forward. Let us see if they play natural looking move like a6 to stop this check. We can go this e5 move, and after this trade you can see we are attacking this knight. We are destabilizing this knight. This was the threat, and to counter the threat there is only one option, to play e5. This is also the worst because after f takes and d takes we can play this bishop takes e5, still attacking this knight like this, and there is a more big threat of this queen. We can take this queen and remove the castling rights of this black. So black has to compulsorily take our queen. We get a tempo, we develop a rook on an active and an open file, and you can see our pieces. On the next move we are going to develop the bishop, get castled, and all our development is done. And look at these black's pieces, they are just a bit too passive. This was the specialty of Mikhail Tal's games. He blockaded his opponent's pieces. So this was the deep calculation behind this f4 move. Now we have bishop to e7. This was the best move in this position. We have queen to f3, short castles, bishop e2, bishop d7, long castle by Mikhail Tal, knight takes d4. Now finally Alexander Koblents decided to take this central knight because it will be a very headache for him in the future attacking. So bishop takes d4, bishop c6 and g4. Now Mikhail Tal has started with his real attack. You can see here now he's trying to push this pawn, bring his all the queen and rook there and attack this king, because you can see all the pieces are already in the attack in the direction of this black's king. He just wanted to put the pieces on their best square to attack the king. Let us see what he did. Now Alexander Koblents played queen to a5, creating some attacks on this fight, but he didn't knew who was Mikhail Tal. He was such a player that if he is going to be checkmated, in advance he has created a plan to checkmate his opponent. This type of player was Mikhail Tal. Now he played g5 attacking this knight. So this knight has to be moved. That knight moved on d7. We have rook h goes on g1. You can see how these pieces are coordinating. This queen is going on h5. This rook is going to h3 to g3 to h3. This bishop will join it. You can see this bishop is covering this king's diagonal. This bishop will come on d3 and attack this file. How is this Mikhail Tal creating these much attacks? This was the biggest question. Now our opponent played b5. Mikhail Tal worked with his plan queen to h5, b4. This was the mistake by Alexander Koblents because Mikhail Tal sacrificed the knight. Yes, he played rook to d3, just sacrificing it, because the point behind this move is, if you take, I can take with the bishop and your queen is being attacked. If you take this a2 pawn, which happened in the game, now I have rook to h3 threatening a checkmate, and there's no defense of this square. By the way, chess engine gives us another tactic, which is knight to d5. The point behind this move is, you can take like this, attacking this bishop. Bishop has to take. Now we go bishop d3, attacking this h7 pawn, threatening a checkmate. So what do they play? Yes, they play g6 move, blocking off this diagonal. Now we play queen to h6, threatening this checkmate. Now what do they play? Yes, they sacrifice the knight. After we take like this, they play f6, and again after these much play, this game is equal. No piece has no advantage. That's a drawish type game. But you know, Mikhail Tal doesn't play simple chess. He's a sacrifice king. So he sacrificed his knight this way. And you can see, after this move, Alexander Koblents accepted the sacrifice, and taking this pawn was a big mistake. Instead, queen a4 was the best move, because once you take like this, you have lost this connection with this king. This queen is too far that it cannot defend this king. And now the magic happens. After 4 moves, Mikhail Tal checkmated Alexander Koblents. No resignation, checkmate was happened. After rook to h3, threatening a checkmate on the next move, Alexander Koblents played bishop takes e4, defending this h7 pawn. Now g6, cutting off this bishop's sight on this h7 square. The point behind this move is, if you take with the f pawn, we have queen takes, h7 check, king goes there, and now the queen slides on this g7 square, checking the king. King moves there. Now we play rook to h7 and threatening a checkmate on this e7 square. And now from this position, there is a checkmate in 5 or 6 moves. You can see it, and this is the puzzle of the day for you. So now let's move towards the main game. In the game, Alexander Koblents took this g6 pawn with this bishop. This was the biggest blunder and the last blunder by Koblents. From this position, Mikhail Tal sacrificed his queen. Queen takes h7. The point behind this move is, this king has no space to move on any of the square on the board. So he also can't take the queen because it's supported with our rook. So bishop has to take. Now we can play rook takes g7 check. Again this king can't move on this f8 square. So he has to hide behind this rook, which is h8. And now you can see, we can take the advantage of this defense of this bishop on the rook, and we can play rook takes h7 checkmate. This was happened in the game. You can see this was the same move that was played in the game, and this was the checkmate. So this was the game, guys. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. Watch this video if you want to know how Arjun Erigaisi defeated Magnus Carlsen.